Crash Bandicoot, one of the most important franchises in gaming history and one of my personal favorites. For years, Crash has been around and given us some incredible games, some mediocre ones, and some that should get the development teams arrested for domestic terrorism. He's always been a part of the big three platformer mascots consisting of Mario, Sonic, and of course Crash himself. I miss talking about him, so I thought as a fun video I'd give you guys my top 5 Crash Bandicoot games. We haven't done a top 5 in a long time, and while I'm working on the Digimon Games Part 2 video, I didn't want to leave you guys without one. So, this is one I've been wanting to do for a while. Let's dive into it. This is a fun twist, and I really don't care if this doesn't count to some, but Crash Bandicoot 1 from the N.Sane trilogy is easily the best experience I've had with the original Crash game. I love the PS1 version to death, and while N.Sane isn't perfect either, it really irons out the issues in the original games and makes it an absolutely fantastic experience. You get beautiful at times visuals, better controls, and a much easier time to 100% the game and earn all the gems. In the original game, you can't die once in a level no matter the gem. In the N.Sane trilogy, you could die as many times as you want for a regular gem in a level, but can't die in a level that has a color gem. That's a much easier and fun challenge. This is also an unpopular opinion, but I thought the time trials were a great addition as well. I know it doesn't really fit in the game, but as someone who knows these games like the back of their hands, this gave me an added challenge to not only improve my own skills at the game, but really put it all to the test, and make it even more enjoyable. It's a fantastic remake of the original game and is by far the definitive way to play them. It's unfortunate I can't say the same about the other two games in this trilogy remake, but regardless, N.Sane Trilogy is still a very good remake, despite the obvious flaws with art style, music, and hitboxes. Now this is a Crash Bandicoot game that gets no credit. N.Trance is the second installment of the franchise on the Game Boy Advance, and man, it's a fantastic game. This game mixes elements from the original trilogy, Wrath of Cortex unfortunately, and sprinkles in some newer stuff in between it all to make it a very fun experience. This is the first Crash game as well that doesn't have Cortex at all in it. The main villain is Entropy, and a new villain in N.Trance. The game controls very well, and there's still a lot of challenge and fun to be had with some unique elements thrown into it. It also has a very unique and fun boss fight with Fake Crash, where he mirrors everything you do, and you have to trick him into taking damage from traps in the fight. There's a lot to love, a lot to do, a lot to collect, and just a lot to enjoy within this game, and I highly recommend it for just not Crash fans, but platforming fans in general. This is a must-have and must-play for the Game Boy Advance. There's no need for introductions. I'm sick of this game being so overhated and misunderstood. Crash of the Titans is my favorite post-Naughty Dog Crash game, and is simply one of the best this franchise has. It was a great reboot that was executed decently well overall. This game takes the platforming elements we're used to seeing and mixes it with beat-em-up elements and combines everything to create a very fun experience. This game introduces new mechanics and powers like the addition of being able to collect mojo, which allows you to upgrade and learn new moves, and titans that you could beat and take control of. Or as the game advertises it, jack them. You could jack the titans, no kidding. It's such a fun time to be able to jack the titans, to take control of the titans and beat the shit out of your enemies, and discover new ones to take control of in the game. The redesigns of the characters are one thing everyone bitched about since release, and for some reason the main reason people hate the game as a whole, but most of them grew on me, especially Crash himself. I have my criticism for this game. It's far from perfect, but this is still a very fun game. It's a solid Crash game and a great game on its own. It's all accompanied by a fun soundtrack and a fun story. It's overhated, misunderstood, and very underrated. The devs did a fine job here. This game didn't ruin anything. What ultimately killed Crash was the lower selling and lower rated, broken, and unfinished titles beforehand, and the fan base being too scared of change or anything different. Hopefully that changes in the future projects like with Team Rumble, but I sincerely doubt that. This game needs to evolve and it needs to try new things. It can't just keep doing the same old shit in the same old song. Crash Team Racing is by far one of the best Crash Bandicoot games ever made, and is easily one of the greatest kart racers ever made. Crash Team Racing was the final send-off from Naughty Dog, and boy, what a send-off. This wacky game is one of the most satisfying kart racers ever. It has a unique story mode with a lot to collect, boss fight races, and challenges, and it has a great drifting speed boost mechanic that makes this game 30 times more fun to play, and if you master it, it allows you to breeze through the competition and really master these very fun racetracks. The controls are super smooth, and the best I've played in any kart racer. And it had the same amazing soundtrack we're used to hearing in these Crash games. I still go back to this, and I still prefer this over Nitro Fuel. CTR is a top 5 kart racer, and like on the list, a top 5 Crash game. Before we get to the number 1 game, here are just a few honorable mentions that didn't make the cut. Yeah, this one was obvious, but Crash Bandicoot 2 is my favorite Crash game and easily the best in this franchise. Crash Bandicoot 2 needs to be shown in classes or places everywhere on how to make a sequel the right way. This game takes everything right about Crash 1, makes it even better, and takes everything wrong with Crash 1 and completely fixes it. With improved controls, more levels and exploration, a better story, cool new soundtrack, it adds new styles like the rage-inducing but fun jetpack levels, the hog wild levels on steroids with the polar levels, and just countless new secrets and jumps to collect. It's all so amazing. It nails everything and fixes everything wrong Crash 1 did. This is by far the best the series has to offer, and is a must-play for the PS1. Not even one of the worst final bosses in gaming history is enough to spoil the greatness of Crash 2. This is a cold hard classic, and the franchise's peak. And that is my top 5 Crash Bandicoot titles. I know this was a bit of a short one, and I apologize for the wait on the new content. Some stuff got in the way, but we're okay now, and there's plans that I'm trying to get into action to increase the frequency and quality of it all. I wanted to get something to you guys while I finish up Digimon Games Part 2, so I really hope you enjoyed this one. What did you think of this list? What are your favorite Crash games? Do you agree with any of my takes? Let me know and let's spark a conversation. I'd love to know what you guys think. That being said, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more awesome content from this channel. Jaybills Games signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.